Anna Delvey, that's the name that electrified New York high society back in 2013, a name whispered in the most exclusive hotel lobbies, art galleries dripping with million-dollar masterpieces, and private parties where the city's elite sipped champagne without a care. But Anna Delvey wasn't born with silver spoons or oil baron daddies. She was Anna Sorokin, a regular girl from a modest family in Russia, who landed in America chasing dreams bigger than the Manhattan skyline. Picture this, it's a crisp fall evening in late 2013, and the marble-floored lobby of the Beekman Hotel, a place where celebrities and CEOs drop tens of thousands without blinking, is humming with that electric buzz of money and power. In walks Anna, 22 years old, striding in like she owns the joint. Oversized Celine sunglasses perched on her nose, Birkin bag slung over her shoulder worth more than most people's yearly rent, and this thick, aristocratic German accent rolling off her tongue like she's straight out of a castle in the Alps. Heads turn, bartenders straighten up. She's got this aura, you know, effortless privilege, the kind that makes staff jump to comp her the penthouse suite on the spot, no questions asked. She settles in, not for a weekend getaway, but like it's her permanent address. Ordering room service feasts, booking private photographers for candid shots, and dropping hints everywhere about her backstory. "Oh, I'm Anna Delvey," she purrs to the concierge, flashing what looks like official documents from a Swiss bank. Forged, of course, but who checks? My family's old money trust fund sitting pretty at 60 million euros. Daddy's in the oil game across Europe. And her big pitch, the Anna Delvey Foundation, this ultra-exclusive arts club she's planning a members-only paradise in a converted industrial space on the Lower East Side, where billionaires rub elbows over Rothko originals and bespoke cocktails, complete with a pool, helipad, the works. Sounds insane, right? But she sells it. Hotel managers eat it up, waving off the mounting bills. 30 grand here, 50 there, promising wire transfers from overseas accounts that never materialize. Instead, she ghosts with stacks of bad checks scribbled on accounts drained dry. Cut to the scene at a Vanity Fair Oscar party after event, February 2014. Anna's rubbing shoulders with the real deal models, hedge fund princes, influencers snapping selfies like it's their job. There's Rachel Deloche-Williams, a legit Vanity Fair photo editor, wide-eyed and flattered when Anna picks her out of the crowd. "Come to my birthday bash at Le Cuckoo," Anna insists. "It's going to be legendary." Rachel bites, and soon she's hooked, footing bills for shopping sprees on Madison Avenue, lunches at San Ambrose where plates run to $100 a pop. Anna's charm is a weapon, always promising the money's coming next week, always one story ahead of the doubt. Banks fall too. She marches into Fortress Investment Group, spreads out those phony UBS statements showing 60 million in liquid assets, applies for a $22 million loan to kickstart her foundation. They say no to the loan, but she sweet talks them into a 100 grand credit line anyway, wired straight to her accounts for business expenses. Now, she's bouncing between hotels, the 11 Howard, the Standard, racking up tabs that hit six figures, personal trainers on payroll, stylists on speed dial, private jets booked for weekend jaunts. Elites like Nefertari Davis, a real estate agent with a Bushwick loft, let her crash indefinitely, dazzled by the endless parade of famous faces parading through. But cracks are showing if you look close. Concierge exchange glances over and paid invoices piling up. Rachel starts asking about those wires. Anna dodges with flair, jet lag from Paris, or daddy's yacht got delayed in Monaco, then sues anyone who pushes too hard. Lawyer letters flying like confetti. She's got nerve, I'll give her that. Living larger than her lies every single day, turning New York into her personal playground. And here's where it gets you thinking, what would you do if someone like that swept into your life, promising the world on a silver platter? Could you spot the hustle before your credit card statement screamed betrayal? She's pulling in hundreds of thousands now, all for a fake art empire that exists only in her head. Bad checks bouncing from bank to bank, friends left holding the bag. But luck like that can't hold forever. Stick around, because the higher she climbs, the harder the fall, and the karma waiting. It's got teeth that bite deep into that designer facade. You won't believe how it unravels. Picture this, it's late 2013, and the lobby of one of Manhattan's sleekest hotels, the Beekman. with its soaring marble columns and chandeliers dripping like frozen waterfalls, is buzzing with A-listers. Fresh off some Fashion Week after party, they are thick with perfume, hush deals, and the clink of cocktail glasses. Limos idle outside, doormen in crisp uniforms nod to regulars dropping five-figure tips without a second thought. That's when she makes her entrance, not hurries in. No, struts right through the revolving doors like the place was built for her alone. Anna Sorokin, but not for long, because in that moment she's reborn as Anna Delvey, this enigmatic force in oversized sunglasses. A Celine handbag swinging from her arm that costs more than a year's rent in Brooklyn. Her clothes screaming quiet luxury from head to toe. She's got this thick German accent, all clipped vowels, and old-world authority, the kind that whispers I've got estates in the Alps and boardrooms in Zurich without saying a word. She pauses at the check-in desk, peels off those shades slow, flashes a smile that's half promise, half command, and the world tilts a little. "I'd like the penthouse suite, thank you," she says, voice like velvet over steel, dropping casual hints about a $60 million trust fund tucked away in Swiss vaults. A shadowy European dynasty that's been banking oil money for generations. The staff? They melt. No deposit needed, no ID double-check. Concierge comes the room on the spot, upgrades it to something obscene, because who says no to royalty? And Anna Delvey, now she's already pitching her grand vision, leaning in close like she's letting you in on the future. "I'm launching the Anna Delvey Foundation," she purrs, eyes lighting up, "a private members-only club for the ultra-rich, right here in the heart of the Lower East Side. Think industrial chic palace, swimming pool on the roof, helipad for weekend getaways, gallery walls crammed with Basquiats and Warhols, where hedge funders and celebs close art deals over vintage Dom Perignon. This isn't just a club. It's the new epicenter of New York's creative elite." Word spreads like wildfire through the lobby, crowd photographers, socialites, junior bankers sniffing opportunity. Hotel staff start bending rules left and right, room service carts groaning under caviar and fillets that rack up thousands overnight, spa treatments charged to the house. All on promises of the wire from overseas clears Monday. Banks aren't far behind. She waltzes into meetings at places like Fortress Investment Group, spreads out forged docs, UBS statements photoshopped to show 60 mil liquid wire histories, fake pixel perfect, sweet talking them into floating loans and credit lines they should have laughed at. Elites foot the bills to dinners at Le Cuckoo hitting $5,000, private trainers flown in from LA, weekend jaunts where friends like Rachel from Vanity Fair pick up the tab without a peep. Dazzled by the parade of MacBooks, stylists, and A-list selfies. All of it for a woman who stepped off a plane from London with nothing but a suitcase, nerve harder than diamond, and lies polished brighter than her diamonds. She's got no trust fund, no dynasty, no oil baron dad, just a modest Russian family back in Moscow who thought she was interning at a magazine. But in that lobby moment, watching her charm melt skepticism like butter, you can't help wondering, how far does this go before it snaps? She's pulling strings in a city built on bluffs, turning bad checks into high society gold, and the higher she climbs, the more you feel that pit in your stomach. Stick with me, because this isn't just a con, it's a slow burn takeover, and the unraveling, it'll leave you questioning every trust fund baby you meet. Now, fast forward to 2014, and Anna Delvey isn't just dipping her toes into New York's glittering underbelly as she's fully embedded, swimming deep in the glitterati like she was born to it, flitting from one exclusive Vanity Fair party to the next, where flashbulbs pop and champagne flows from fountains nobody questions. Picture her at these bashes, MacBook always open, sketching blueprints for her Phantom Foundation, surrounded by photo editors and influencers who can't get enough of her vibe. There's Rachel Deloche-Williams, this wide-eyed Vanity Fair staffer with a knack for selfies, snapping pics alongside and alike their besties from some European summer circuit, posting them to Instagram with captions dripping envy and excitement. Rachel's hooked bad footing bills for Anna's endless lunches at San Ambrose, where truffle pasta plates hit $80 a forkful, or Madison Avenue shopping sprees piling up Celine bags and Lau Baudins that Rachel swears are investments Anna will repay. Then there's Nefertari Davis, or Nef as everyone calls her, a real estate agent with a cozy Bushwick loft who spots Anna crashing at hotels and insists, "Stay with me, girl, no rent, just vibes." Nef turns a blind eye to the parade of stylists and personal trainers turning her place into a pop-up salon, figuring Anna's trust fund covers it all. Anna's bouncing between the Beekman and the 11 Howard hotels like they're her personal piety tiers, check-in after check-in, racks up tabs that climb into the tens of thousands. $30,000 at the Beekman alone some months, room service carts wheeling out lobster thermidor and magnums of Dom at 3 a.m., spa days charged to the house. All on breezy promises of swift wire transfers from my European accounts. They'll hit by Tuesday. But Tuesday comes and goes. No wires, just stacks of bad checks scribbled on drained accounts that bounce higher than her heels. She skips out cool as ice, leaving front desks scrambling, managers printing emails where she vows the family's jet delayed it in Geneva. Banks keep falling for the charm offensive too. She storms into Fortress Investment Group offices. Nat Ford's UBS portfolio spread eagle on the table, pushing for a $22 million loan to fund her arts palace. They reject the big ask, thank God, but she sweet talks the execs over lunches into a $100,000 credit line anyway, wired straight to her for bridge financing, which she blows on private flights and rooftop parties. Friends pick up even bigger tabs like that infamous Morocco trip, 4 nights at La Mamounia, a luxury pile in Marrakesh where suites run to $1,000 a night. Rachel covers $62. Zero on her Amex for the whole crew, and a promising reimbursement that evaporates like morning mist. Suspicion starts brewing slow, like steam in a pressure cooker nobody wants to open. Hotel managers chase payments with increasingly firm emails. Ms. Delvey, we need confirmation on the $11,000 outstanding, but she dodges with flair, sending fake wire confirmations or lawyer letters threatening defamation. A mutual friend tips Rachel off and whispers, "Girl, her stories don't add up, watch your card." Rachel brushes it at first, dazzled by the access, but the pangs hit when her statements arrive. Anna senses the heat and parties harder, hosting blowouts at Surficial in the Hamptons. 50 guests deep, DJs spinning while bills stack for the house. She sues critics who push to close. A photographer owed $10,000 for foundation promo shots gets slapped with a countersuit for breach and keeps climbing. Renting out Cooper Union for a foundation preview event, charging entry to 200 influencers who sip free view while she networks like a shark. You're on pins and needles now, aren't you? The tabs are mounting, friends whispering doubts, hotels circling like vultures, but Anna's still queen of the scene, turning every close call into fuel for the next con. Then, out of nowhere, journalist Vicky Ward starts sniffing the trail, this seasoned reporter with a nose for high society BS, digging into the bounce checks and ghost wires. Piecing together the paper trail that's about to blow it wide open, is Anna genius heiress, rewriting the rules of wealth, or the slickest elite hustler New York's ever crowned? Drop your guess in the comments. What's the boldest lie you'd spin to crash that kind of high society? Or would you bail at the first red flag? If this has you gripped, smash that like button. Subscribe for more true crime deep dives that peel back the glamour, because the twist coming next, it'll flip everything you thought you knew. And then 2018 crashes in like the hammer nobody saw swinging, starting with Vicky Ward's exposes that ripped the velvet curtain right off Anna Delvey's carefully staged high society theater. This isn't some blog post buried in the feeds. Vicky, the reporter with scars from exposing royals and billionaires before, lands her story in New York Magazine and beyond, peeling back every layer of the facade with surgical precision. No heiress bloodline, no shadowy European dynasty, no $60 million trust fund humming in Swiss vaults, just Anna Sorokin, a Russian expat from a quiet, modest family in Moscow where her dad ran a small trucking business, not all empires. She'd been scraping by in London before New York, interning at a fashion mag for peanuts, but here she was, scamming over $275,000 through a web of forged UBS bank statements, Photoshop PDFs showing phantom millions, more than 50 overdrawn checks bouncing across city banks, and a trail of bad debts from hotels to Starstruck to pull the plug sooner. The numbers hit like gut punches: $30,000 ghosted at the Beekman, $11,000 at 11 Howard, credit lines milked dry. all funneled into her fake Anna Delvey foundation that never broke ground beyond doodles on napkins. Rachel Deloche-Williams, that Vanity Fair photo editor who'd been her loyal sidekick through selfies and shopping sprees, flips hard, betrayed and broke. She sues Anna for the full $62,000 from that lavish Morocco getaway at La Mamunia, where palm-fringed pools and five-star suites turned into a nightmare of maxed-out MX charges. Rachel goes nuclear, handing over receipts, emails, the works to prosecutors, testifying how Anna begged her to cover the bill with pleas of just this once. The wires stuck. Cops swarm the hotel's next NYPD raids at dawn, cuffing Anna mid-morning coffee in the Beekman penthouse, dragging her out past gawking staff who'd once bowed to her every whim. She's arraigned on grand larceny, theft of services, check fraud. The charges stack like her old room service tabs, and suddenly the glitterati she's conned start whispering her real name, distancing fast as if they never posted those party pics. Fast forward to early 2019, and the trial unfolds in a packed Manhattan courtroom, a spectacle drawing Netflix crews and tabloid hounds like flies to honey. Anna struts in cool as ever. Hair slicked back, designer dud swap for court khakis, but that defiant chin still high. Claiming the whole thing was just entrepreneurial spirit, bold moves in a city that rewards hustlers, not crimes. She takes the stand, spins tales of good faith misunderstandings, insists the foundation was real, the docs aspirational, her accent thicker under pressure like armor. But the evidence mounts. Relentless prosecutors flash those forged statements pixel by damning pixel on courtroom screens, overdraft logs from 50-plus checks, hotel invoices stamped and paid, wire confirmations proven fake as fool's gold, witnesses pile on, the fortress banker admitting he ignored red flags for her charm. The photographer she'd stiffed now detailing the $10,000 shoot she countersued over, even Neff Davis admitting the Bushwick crash pad turned into an open wallet. Just when you think the jury's buying her dreamer act, here's the insane bomb that detonates everything. Her own so-called friends turn state's evidence, spilling how even under house arrest with ankle monitor beeping, Anna kept the con alive. Picture this: pool parties at some Mark's LA mansion, funded by fresh suckers wiring cash for her art project. Instagram stories of caviar and bikinis while waiting trial, Neff and others confessing they covered more tabs post-bust because Anna spun sob stories of frozen assets. The courtroom erupts, jurors' jaws drop, sketches capture Anna's frozen stare as texts surface proving she laughed off the heat, lining up new grifts from her ankle bracelet thrown. Guilty on 8 felony counts, grand larceny, theft, false instruments, sentenced to 12 years in Rikers. Then ICE detention, fighting deportation back to Russia. Dreams of that Lower East Side palace crushed under restitution orders topping $199,000 she can't pay. Karma lands with a thud as Vanity Fair runs the story that made her infamous, turning her into a cautionary icon while she cools her heels behind bars, appeal after appeal denied. Shocked to your core yet? I know I was. Drop your raw reaction in the comments. Was Anna a cold mastermind playing New York's elite like fiddles, or a desperate dreamer to deepen her own fantasy to turn back? Tell me straight. I read every word. This one's got you rethinking every flashy contact in your phone, right? Hang tight, the close hits even harder. So as the bars close behind Anna Delvey for good, her story leaves us all standing in the wreckage, forced to face that brutal truth. Ambition without a shred of ethics doesn't just burn bright, it devo ours every bit of trust her on it, turning gold-plated promises into ash. Think about those victims, regular folks and high rollers alike, whose loans and tabs evaporated overnight, left chasing shadows of bad checks while she jetted off on their dime. Friends like Rachel staring at $62,000 holes in their accounts, hotels writing off fortunes, banks eating credit lines handed out on forged signatures that looked real enough under cocktail haze. In the cutthroat game of investing and social climbs, it turns out one fake scribble, one Photoshop bank statement, sinks entire legacies faster than you can say trust fund, leaving scars that no amount of Vanity Fair glamour shots can paper over. The real lesson glowing through the mess: verify every document, chase actual value over flash and accents, vet the pitch, demand the wires, trust but always cut the cards. Because New York's taught us that dazzle without depth is just a prettier path to ruin. Her fall's a mirror for anyone eyeing finance deals or dreaming big in elite circles. Victims' shattered savings scream for better due diligence. A world where that one overlooked red flag could have saved millions and spared the heartbreak. Karma wrapped it up neat, turning her from cover girl to convict. But the echoes hit home, build on lies, and you're not climbing. You're just digging your own hole deeper, one bounce check at a time. What's the con that rocked your world hardest? The one that made you swear off smooth talkers forever? Spill it in the comments below or read them all, and your stories fuel these deep dives. If this woke something up in you, if it lit a fire for smarter moves in money and trust, share this video far and wide so no one else falls for the next Delvey. Smash that like button to stand for accountability. And subscribe right now because the next saga's a monster, the cryptocanes for $1 billion vanishing. Ike that scammed the planet and left her as the FBI's most wanted ghost. Hit those notifications, you won't want to blink.